already. We are continuing the part 4 about eating kosher. Just need to add a few more things. Obviously, here I'm only talking about the basic outlines, and then you can look for yourself more if you want the details, or you can send me questions. So the next step that we need to know is about how to have a kosher kitchen. So a kosher kitchen, you first usually start by separating the dishes. The meat and milk, obviously we know that meat and milk cannot be cooked together, cannot be eaten together, and cannot be, we can derive benefit from it. All the Torah prohibitions, and therefore people have two sets of dishes, one for milk and one for meat. Some people have even a set of dishes for parav. Parav means it's not fleshy, it's not meat, it doesn't have meat in it, or it doesn't have milk. It's neutral. So, but most people have only meat and dairy. So the way to do that is it can be next to each other. I mean, it should be this thing. You have to be able to recognize it. So on the shelf, you put it to different place, and same thing. Most people will have different type of cups for meat and dairy, but it's not necessary, especially according to Sfardim. There's no problem. Glass doesn't absorb the meat or the dairy, as opposed to other elements that absorb the meat or the milk in it, and therefore when we reuse it, then if let's say I will put a piece of hot meat in a dairy plate, then the dairy elements that are in the plate will connect to the meat, and that will create a problem. So that's for the dishes, two set of dishes. Ovens, obviously different pots and different different ovens. If you're able to afford it. If you can't afford it, then you can have one oven that you decide to use for or meat or dairy, and if you want to use the different, let's say if you want to make a dairy cake in a meat oven, then you would put the dairy cake in a pan and double cover it so that no smoke, no vapor exit from the pan, and therefore it won't connect to the meat elements in the oven. The main problem in an oven will be that the vapor goes and touches the meat, and the vapor is like a connector. It connects, like let's say you have water and electricity, so it connects. The water will connect the electricity from one side to the other. So same thing with meat and dairy and vapor. So we make sure that that it's covered. If let's say you go in a place where they have an oven that is not kosher at all, meaning they cook pork in it, same thing. There's no problem. You can take a kosher pan, and let's say you want to put potatoes or a kosher chicken, and you put it in the oven and you double cover it. Make sure there's no air going. No air going out, and then you can cook it in a non-kosher oven, no problem. And so that's for the ovens. Microwaves also, you can or double cover it, but you can cover it with aluminum, so you have to really find something with plastic. You have to be careful. Sometimes plastic pops out, so you have to make sure that you don't put it too long, or it's a cover that doesn't pop. As long as you don't double cover it, it's fine. Otherwise, people sometimes have two microwaves, makes it easier. Let's say you want to go take an oven and you want it only you want have it for dairy. Now you want to have it for meat. So you can kosher an oven. Most ovens are kosherable today. Most people have self-cleaning oven. Self-cleaning oven is kosherable. So you put it on, and then so you clean it. You wait 24 hours. And after 24 hours, you can kosher it by putting the heat at its highest or the self-cleaning mode, and then you can then switch to dairy or meat, whatever you want. It's not recommended to do that too often because that can break the oven. If microwave also are kosherable, but not everybody, there are different opinions. If you want to kosher a microwave, most rabbi holds you can put a cup of water in it. You clean it well, obviously. You wait 24 hours. You put a cup of water in there, and you make it boil so that there's vapor going all over the microwave, and then you can decide if you want it meat or dairy. And that's for the dishes. In terms of the table, let's say you have someone who eats dairy and someone who wants to eat meat, then we have to designate a special. Some people take a table mat and clearly show that they're eating meat. That's in order not to go for take some food from your friend's plate or relative's plate while you're eating the opposite. You can create confusion and make a mistake. So we try to be very careful. Those are the basics for the kitchen. But there are a lot. Obviously, there's a lot of questions that you can add. A lot of technical. What if you put a dairy spoon in a meat pot? What do you do? So if you have questions like that, you can always ask me or check on the web. But I think that's the main things for kashrut, and we shall continue to the next step 5.